Hey everyone, welcome back to 3D6 Down the Line. This is episode 85 of the Halls of Arden Vul Megadungeon Crawl. Halls of Arden Vul by Richard Barton. And we're using a heavily house-ruled version of Old School Essentials by Gavin Norman, otherwise known as Necrotic Gnome. My name is John. I'm the referee for the evening. Normally we would have Mike. Currently he's dead to us. He may pop in when he has the chance. But other than that, going around the horn, we have...
My name is Avaricious. No, I'm kidding. I am Gudor, the king of... No, sorry. I shouldn't be doing this. Anyway, Upior, level 5 magic user.
And his name is David, by the way.
He's going to say.
I trolled too far. For the audience, I'm making John's life miserable, and I love you for it.
Correct, 100%. Bingo.
I mean, this is still new to us. One of these days we'll get it. Hi, everybody.
It's only been about 1,000 hours, and I can't figure it out. I'm sorry. I'm old. You know what I mean?
Hi, everybody. I'm Matt. Tonight I'm playing Wolfhard Cheek, 5th level fighter and world-famous philanthropist.
Ooh, not bad. World famous.
I like that. I like that a lot. Good. All right.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ted, and tonight I will be playing the biblically accurate Goblin 7, Mortis J. Gobliano, no cap, very demure, very mindful.
Nice.
I hate you. I hate you so much.
That's what
as the youngest worst person here, I hate you so much.
Yeah,
I also appreciate it a little bit.
That demure usage will not age well, but it is currently the hot word to use.
We're all very aware.
As of summer 2024. Okay. All right, so let's start over. Let's get in with it. We are in media res. It is the 14th of Gelenios. It's approximately 10:30 in the morning. The party currently, with Upior popping into existence next to them, is in the Beastman compound after discovering, much to their dismay, upon returning to Arden Vul from Gosterwick, that it appears that a very strong force, which they have surmised is most likely Neferet on the loose, has infiltrated the Beastman compound and massacred almost everyone in there. Deino is nowhere to be found after entering her chambers and finding a dying Count Scleros, unable to speak but gesturing towards the northeast when asked in which direction the enemy went. They've found a series of open doors, blood streaked all over the walls, corpses everywhere, and rising amongst those corpses were the zombies of some beastmen as well. Investigating the southern part of the compound, they did come across, they did enter again into the long-range cavern patrols headquarters and found that many of the foodstuffs and supplies were taken, but taken in good order with no signs of massacre occurring there. So it is likely that at least some members of the LRCP have survived, but where they are, no one knows. All they have seen so far is death and blood and mummy rot everywhere. So Deino is missing, Neferet is missing, and the Beastman Goblin Alliance is now in complete tatters. So they are currently, right now, in the Veterans Affairs room, the actual Veterans Hall, which is just to the north of the common room that abuts Mother's bed chambers. So I want to... what you did at the very end of the episode is you listened at the western door in that room and heard nothing. That's when the torch went out. You relit a torch and handed it to Trefco, so we have a new torch timer started with 6 turns to go on that torch. You have never been through that western door yet in any way, shape, or form, so you don't know what's actually beyond there. You are standing in a room that is full of blood and bodies. And I want to remind you that when you picked through the remnants of Deino's chamber, you saw that the contents of her armoire were spilled, and you took a silver box, which you have yet to investigate, 19 small packets of what appears to be some sort of slightly damp powder, and a single vial of what looks to be a bright red liquid, obviously not blood, but similar in viscosity. But it is bright red, and very the vial itself is very sort of flamboyant, like it has like a lot of gilt and stuff like that on it. Okay.
So love potion number 7, probably.
Yes. Another bookkeeping thing real quick is back in Gosterwick, Elizabeth, who was sort of out of the action with dealing with all the politics and stuff like that, had gone up to the Temple Hill and at the House of the Gods had used what materials they had there to actually do her spell research. It's more for a druid. It would have been communing with nature and all that kind of good stuff. But whatever, we used our new spell research rules in order for Elizabeth to get a sweet new spell. So I'll let Matt describe the spell, but first the rules, just so you're aware. And please remember that this is my own house rule. This is not OSE rules as written. It's basically for every level of the spell, it takes 1 day to do the research and 1,000 gold. Per day and per spell level. So Elizabeth was going to research a 2nd level spell. So it cost 2 days, which is exactly how long they were in Gosterwick, and cost 2,000 gold pieces, which has been marked off by Ted. What is that spell? This brand new, unique spell.
Okay. All right. So a couple of things. Like we wanted to keep it kind of nature themed since she's a druid, and also kind of reflecting the recent dangers that we've been exposed to down here in the dungeon. And so we came up with this idea of a spell called Decompose. And we kind of used heat metal as kind of an archetype to follow, so that, in heat metal, you pick a piece of, metal that someone's holding or carrying or something, and it gets hot and eventually harms them. Decompose, I thought, could have a similar, like, over time based effect, where a druid could use this on, a fresh corpse to rapidly decompose it over the course of a turn, say. But if, say, one were in conflict with a corporeal undead, the spell could target that creature the same way, and the same way that the bacteria and fungi and stuff could decay regular course, it could also do damage to an undead corporeal creature coming after you over the course of a few rounds.
Cool. So yes, it's a very cool spell, and we will assume that Elizabeth has that prepared. 2nd level. So yeah, everyone out there, if you haven't delved into the awesome potential of spell research and creating your own spells, I highly recommend it. It is a highlight of all spell casting classes, and you should lean into it because it's really, really fun. All right, so
It is.
Upior. So we went over last time with the episodes what your spell transcriptions were from spell books to your own spell book. We already did all the bookkeeping and all that kind of stuff for it, so that's good. Can you remind us right now, though, what he has memorized?
Memorized or newly scribed, just to clarify.
Memorized. I need to know what your spell selection is. You are now, this is also the first time we've seen Upior as a 5th level caster. This is the highest level caster that David's ever played.
How does that even occur?
Why don't you start
Nice
with
job,
first
man.
level and work your way up to that sweet single 3rd level spell that you probably got memorized?
I only have 1 3rd level spell, but I did not memorize it for the reasons of our current situation. But the 3rd level spell is Secret Page. It's very good. 2nd level spells, going in reverse, I've memorized Forget and Levitate. All right. And 1st level spells, I have memorized Phantom Armor, have to do it, and Marionette. So
Cool.
that's what I'm doing currently.
Right on. All right. So let's get this show on the road. You guys are in that room. Blood everywhere. Corpses of the old retired veterans in here. Looks like they tried to put up a stand, but failed miserably. And you have this open. Actually, you have this. I can't remember if I said it was open or not. It would be, regardless.
I think it's open, yeah.
Yeah, and you listened. So what do you do?
Yeah. Well, before we head out, because I know we talked about going west. John, what are the status of these 2 doors at the one right at the north end of the Veterans Affairs and the other one that's the north end of that hallway? Are those smashed? Are they lockable? Are they lockable from this side? How are they looking?
I described it last time, and I can't remember what I said. I believe they're open, but they are not smashed.
Okay.
And can someone get rid of this gray coloring on the map?
That is a glitch we're having with the Muro tonight. I'm not seeing it. I was seeing it a minute ago. I had to reload the page. I don't think that's. I don't know what to tell you, but I'm not seeing it.
That
Not
gets a
seeing
big
it either.
mediocre from me.
That's right.
Is it only on John's end? Do you see it,
I
Matt?
saw it briefly, and then I reloaded the page, and it went away. So I don't know if
Mine was.
I will attempt.
Yeah, mine
the
was.
same. But
mine
anyways,
was gray.
continue.
I just reloaded, and we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if we think that, and there's some good evidence that she has gone this way and might still be up in this direction,
right.
We need to try to seal those, either lock or seal those doors so she can't come back in behind us while we're doing all of our business. So if those are lockable and sturdy, should try that. If they're not, I think we should look at spiking them, because I worry about her just being able to wander back down this way and sneak up on us from behind.
So last week I pitched spiking them, and everybody said, no, she'll hear it, as I recall. I mean, spiking, it's not quiet. It's going to attract attention. And if she is just in the debouche viewing room there and we start spiking that door, she'll know that she missed a beast man or it's us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not.
So,
are they lockable, John?
Yes, I'll say that. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Like we could bar that door, like lock. Let's just lock it then.
Yeah, if there's a lock that we can turn the key or put the bar on, then I say we do that.
Okay, simple enough.
Thinking it is just gonna, I think it's just gonna attract attention, unless she is not over there watching the debouche on the TV floor, but has in fact gone to the chasm or something like that, which is definitely something
Also
she could
fine,
be doing.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's simple enough to lock this. I think we should.
Yeah, I agree. Let's lock it.
Okay. All right.
And I think we should then hunt for more survivors down here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So lock. Can we lock both of those doors, John, from the veterans hall?
Sure. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. We lost Clavum, didn't we?
Yep.
We do not have Clavum.
That's a shame. Okay. Oh well.
Where you go?
All right. So you guys want to go east or west, or go back into the boudoir and hit some of those doors?
I think we should go west. I want to see what's west. I don't
From the common room?
I mean, whatever's quicker. I mean, I think there's this one door right here. Let's just do it.
Okay. Out of the. Yep.
Okay. You already listened, didn't hear anything. The door is slightly ajar. You can stick your torch through. Trefco can stick the torch over your shoulder if you want. It illuminates immediately that there is a corridor heading directly west for 20 feet before there is another door at the far end. That door is also slightly ajar. Let's see. Probably illuminating a little bit further. It's illuminating past that open door. Remember that your field of view into the following room is curtailed a little bit, but you do see that the torch is flickering over what appears to be blood spatters on the ground, and some obvious signs of corpses on the ground. Like you can't quite make them out because you just see like a leg here, an arm there, sort of thing.
Great.
Yeah, you do hear slightly now, I would say, just the whisper of a low moan.
Like a zombie moan or a, oh, my leg hurts so badly when she bit it off moan?
Can tell you which one of those that is, but you just hear a low.
I'm going to mute to say, and then go back.
Does it say brains?
Nope, just like, oh.
All right, let's
go.
Wolf
Kill it or save it. One or the other.
Yeah, Wolfert will look around. Wait, is the dead guy or the moaning person in this hallway or in that next room?
In the next room.
Okay, yeah. So Wolfert will like peek around the door and see if he can see who's with Trefco holding the lantern up above.
Okay, so you step into the corridor and looking into the room, you see that it's rather large. It is the part of the chamber that you're actually been able to see is actually 30 feet north to south and 20 feet east to west, and you are entering in on the southeastern corner of the eastern wall. However, it appears that the room is likely larger than those dimensions because from north to south along the western edge of those dimensions I gave you is actually is it a curtain? I think it's a curtain. Two animal skin curtains which have been draped raggedly, bisecting the entire room from north to south.
Oh.
And they're slightly sort of fluttering in the draft a little bit. Now, the room is blood spatters the ground everywhere. It looks like there was a bit of a scrum here. There are 3 Beastman corpses that are on the ground. There are, on the north and eastern walls, there are some bodies in manacles hanging on the walls. Okay? They are not beastmen. Let's see, 3 of them appear to be humans. 1 appears to be a goblin. And they all appear to be very, very dead, except for 1. And that person is obviously an Arcantian, is just wearing like a ragged, breech clout sort of thing, and he's got his head down and his hair over his eyes. He looks, absolutely awful. Looks like he's actually has undergone torture of some sort. Doesn't look that great at all. And he appears to be the one that was moaning. And it is quite obvious that on his midsection that he has received a nasty wound, and that wound is suppurating and glistening with infection as well. And he's slowly raised, so he's like manacled on the wall like this, like a classic prisoner from Monty Python sort of thing.
My dog keeps coming in.
And he kind of raises his head a little bit. And he looks blearily at you. And he just looks and he's like, oh, and he's like, kill me.
What's your name? What's your name, son? So we can tell people who you are.
Thomas. Send me to my lord and master Set.
Oh, yes. I can't wait to kill him.
Make the nightmares go away. Make the pain disappear.
Which way? Tell us which way she went. Did she go through the door that we just came out of, or did she go through those curtains?
The demon queen. She came in here, fought my captors. She demanded. She kept on shouting a name. A name, Hellas. She cried out for him multiple times. Hellas.
Oh, we know him. He's kind of a dick.
Wait, Hellas was the other librarian, right? The one that wouldn't give her the books, and he's dead. I think you made that up. Man.
He was an undead. No, he was a jerk. He tried to kill us. I mean, all we did was try to steal his Arcanum, and he popped up and tried to kill us.
I was gonna say, I think in his life, when he was alive,
that guy, that was
he had
Hellas,
integrity.
right?
It was the one person that, strange to say, character development, Upio respected a little bit. But yeah, in his death, who are we beyond the veil? I can't say.
He's not dead. Remember, he tried to, as the door was closing, he was like grabbing at stuff.
Yeah, I would have held his hand if I was in the session. Don't worry about it. Hey, it's so nice to meet you.
Yeah, he was cool. Okay, all right. All right. Look, speaking of people who are dead to us.
Yay.
Who's that boy?
There's Mike.
Mike Boo.
What's up, guys?
Oh,
Welcome, brother.
Just about to kill a Setite. How you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Sorry I'm running late.
You good?
I apologize.
They're just in the next room over to
That's
the
no
west.
problem.
So what do you do?
Yeah.
We didn't get far.
All right, I don't think we're getting any more out of this guy, so I'll just take the black iron spear and just like in one quick jab, just like right up through. Give it to him quick.
He's dead.
All right.
I had more to tell.
Ah, damn it! I thought the exclamation point over your head went out.
Dang it.
Okay, so
I
in
didn't
addition
like
to
the way
the,
he was looking at me.
so bodies on the ground, there's like 3 beastmen on the ground, blood all over the place, more blood than is accounted for by just the beastmen corpses here. The human corpses on the walls in manacles, all of them now corpses, and in addition, in the room, you see that there is a small round table and 2 chairs in this section. And don't forget that the animal skin curtain is also sort of blowing on the west, and you do see. You can quickly kind of determine that all of the victims, all of the prisoners and the beastmen on the ground all have those awful wounds in them. A turn goes by from your discussion with Thomas.
The sort of same kind of gross wound that Scleros had.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You could pretty much determine that.
Okay. Somebody just erased everything on the screen on the Miro.
Mike looks guilty.
Everything.
We know for a fact it's Mike. Sorry, Mike, but
What the hell are you doing,
for the
Mike?
audience, prior to recording, Ted made the astute observation that if we toggle off the selection tool, there's no way we can accidentally delete.
You got to hit
the
The whole
undo.
map.
And having done that, and I know for certainty everyone else has. I don't blame Mike. I don't blame Mike. It's an accident. but
Okay,
it is mine.
everyone, quiet for a second. We're gonna drop out for a minute and get things righted. We'll be right back. Okay, everything has been fixed. Everything is well. Okay, so what do you do?
Mort would like to peek through the curtain whilst Wolford is stabbing a poor, innocent, and defenseless person tied to a wall.
Okay. So when you peek through the curtain, Mort, you can see on the other half of the room, which is the same dimensions, but just on the other side. So there is 20 feet east to west, 30 feet north to south. However, there is a passageway that continues to the west on the southwestern portion of the western wall. A passageway, not a door. That this appears to be
in which part of the wall? Sorry,
southwestern part of the western wall.
Okay.
There is this appears to be where the torturers had all of their equipment and stuff like that. So it's like basically like a torture chamber in here. Lots of unspeakable devices. It looks like the beastmen, while honorable, had a limit.
All right.
Now, interestingly enough, although the animal skins were spattered with some blood on this side, there is no blood on the ground. There is no blood spatter on this side of the animal skins. And there are no corpses here. The torture devices appear to be untouched.
Interesting. Do we want to take time to loot bodies or anything? I don't imagine.
I didn't do it. That was not me.
Continue.
It wasn't me. I wasn't even touching the
Just
thing.
continue.
I don't imagine torturers are necessarily going to be equipped with the latest in high-level magic items, but if you guys want, we could search the room, but I don't feel strongly. Should we keep moving?
I'm good with staying moving. Yeah.
Let's keep
west.
moving. As much as I want to explore, I think there's some urgency here, so let's just keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
As you continue through the western corridor carefully and quietly, first of all, there's no light. But in addition, there does not appear to be any indication that any battle occurred anytime soon. So the same sort of pristine conditions that you found where you're standing continue on until I say differently. It does look like there's been a lot of traffic. It doesn't look like it's dusty or unused or never occupied, right? It's obviously still part of the Beastman compound proper, but there's just no signs of the battle having taken place. Okay, so you only move 10 feet down the corridor, where at the 20-foot mark there is actually a door on the southern wall, with the corridor continuing to the west. The corridor in its entirety of its length is 40 feet entirely before there is a door at the far western end.
And no blood.
No blood. Everything looks swept and clean and has seen much foot traffic.
I say south door. What do you guys think?
What if we give a listen at both?
I think a simultaneous listen sounds good.
Sure.
Okay. Simultaneously listening, whoever's listening at the south door does not hear anything.
That'll be more.
And let me just check the western door. At the west, who's listening at? Excuse me, who's listening at the western door?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Roll a check. UPR.
Let me get my dice out. One moment.
Turn goes by
Alright.
for listening.
No worries. No worries. Okay. A 5.
A 5. Okay, so that you don't hear anything beyond the door.
Yeah, I don't.
Except for a sixth sense that says, I missed hearing something and I shouldn't open it.
Precisely.
Well, the reason I suggested the south door is that that's the sort of zone immediately adjacent to Mother's boudoir and likely to be where we would either find her or her, room with 4 perfectly sized suits of magical armor for us.
Sounds great to me.
Either one of those would be fine.
Okay, so who moves through the door first?
Mort will carefully. Well, it's not locked.
Nope. It is not open though either. This is the first door that you've seen that is not open.
Yeah. So Mort actually is triggered by that. He wants to kind of, check around and look and see if he can spot any sort of danger or mechanism that's visible to him if he's checking the door.
So you want to be extra special careful? Like
I
a
think
turn,
you
like a
should,
turn
yeah,
careful?
I think you should take a turn before we go opening and close doors.
Okay. It is now 11 a.m. You don't see anything that looks weird or off with the door.
All right. Sword in hand, Trefko backing him up. He will open the door carefully and quietly as he can.
Door creaks open, revealing a chamber that is perfectly square, 20 foot by 20 foot, and you are entering in from the northeastern section of the northern wall. There is a door that is open on the southwestern portion of the south wall. Okay. It's immediate, though, when you open the chamber, that this was obviously the chamber of someone quite important. It's very well appointed, has comfortable set of looted cushions and furs on the ground. There is a stone chest in one corner. There is a wooden desk that is piled high with notes. On an armor rack, there is a elaborate suit of black chainmail chased in silver, quite beautiful, in the old Arcantian style, Legionnaire style. There is also a weapons rack. That weapons rack is empty, though there doesn't appear to be any weapons on it at the moment. The over top the south door is actually what appears to be a rod of office, so like almost like a baculus of sort. You know what I mean? That's sort of over top, in a place of honor, mounted on a plaque sort of thing over the door. Yeah.
So first question, I don't suppose that armor is goblin sized.
It is not. It is medium sized, beastman sized.
All right. Second question is, can we see beyond the door that's open at the other side of the room?
If you can, if you peek through it, you want to.
Mort will move up to that door.
Okay, so looking over with Trefko over your shoulder, it illuminates what appears to be an identical room, 20 foot by 20 foot. However, this has doors on all of the walls. So there's a door on the western wall, and a door on the eastern wall, and a door on the southern wall. The western and eastern wall doors are all of these doors are open, and they are the east and western doors are on the southern portions of their respective walls, and the southern door is right in smack dab in the middle of the southern wall. That room is obviously what looks to be like the beating heart of the Tagma. So it looks like to be like a command, like a planning center. So let's see. Yeah, there's like a table with like drawings all over it and like maps and stuff like that.
All right. But no one in there, no bodies?
No, but it looks like the papers on top of the desk were disturbed, like some were on the floor. It looks like people came through here and through one of the doors like at a rapid pace. So like people were moving very quickly through here.
All right. I'm going to ask Trefko to hand me that rod that's above the door.
Okay. He yoinks it down and hands it to you.
And is it very obviously Beastman? Or is this the kind of thing like, oh yeah, that's the same as the goblins were using for all those years before they lost it? Like, is it covered in?
That's a good question, actually. Yeah, so it doesn't look to be like of Beastman make. It looks like it was some sort of object that was sort of adopted by them and given symbolic import. You know what I mean?
All right. Yep, we're keeping that. Anybody else want to loot this room?
I think it might be worth it to. You mentioned that there were a lot of papers on the desk. Might be worth it to just like grab a bunch of those. We can, read those later when we have a little more leisure time.
Looking at most of them, they look to be like sort of close-ups of what you can kind of gather are most likely maps of the fungal caverns and routes through them. Right. And routes through them, like safe routes through them.
Let's definitely pocket them.
And
absolutely.
And remember that was in the planning room. The wand the rod thing was like in the previous room. And also don't forget there too that there was like a stone chest in one corner as well.
Anybody want that armor?
And the armor, yeah.
Can't David determine if it's magical just by fingering it?
Sorry, what?
Give it a tickle, David.
Go finger it.
Finger the armor, David.
I'll do an at-will detect magic. Why not?
Okay, takes a turn. Are you okay with that?
While I'm doing that, could you all kick every other door in this room open and just let's fucking know about it? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, in the two square rooms that you're kind of straddling right now, every single door is now open.
Oh, okay. My mistake.
Okay, yeah.
So casting dispel magic. Detect magic on. What are you casting it on? I'm sorry.
The armor.
The armor is not magical, but it is beautiful. Yeah. It's obviously worth more than normal chainmail.
And it won't fit Trefko.
Nope.
Maybe he wears a hat.
Probably Scleros's room, right?
Probably.
More than likely. He's not really going to need it. We spent the time already for the detect magic. John, while he's doing that, can I look at whatever stand or mount that armor is on?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see if it has like that Scooby-Doo kind of move the arm and that there's a secret door behind it or something. It just seems like there's that blank space on the map. He wants to search kind of that west wall and the armor stand.
So you want to take the armor off the stand, or you just want to manipulate the armor while it's on the stand?
I thought you were just saying manipulate the mannequin. And then
I'll manipulate it while it's there. I'm not ready to loot yet.
Yeah, nothing seems to happen. Armor moves normally.
Okay.
Mort, while Upior is detecting magic, Mort will investigate the stone chest.
And I'll investigate the weapons on the rack.
Nothing on the rack.
Nothing's on the rack? Sorry.
Nothing on the rack.
Okay.
The chest, let's see. Yeah, so it appears to be, it's well carved, made out of stone, though, obviously very heavy. Be very difficult to sort of take with you.
Right.
Unless you're wearing a girdle of giant strength.
Oh, okay. Is it does it have a latch mechanism? Is it obviously locked? Is there
Yes. Yep. It looks to be like there's latch mechanism. It looks like there's an obvious keyhole. It definitely looks like it's locked.
Should have looted Scleros's body, guys. We didn't loot him, did we?
I betcha. No.
We just left him. We were so nervous about about Neferet showing up.
What retainers do we have here? Speaking of putting someone forward to look at a chest.
Sam, Elizabeth, and Trefco.
Yeah.
Sam, Elizabeth, and Trefco.
I'm running
Okay, got it.
Sam,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. All right. What do you do?
So it's obviously locked. Is it like a padlock or like an internal mechanism lock?
Man, I don't fucking know. it's fucking locked.
The only important GM tip that any of our viewers could have in the entire library of our videos is the response that John just gave, which is
Yeah,
not all that surprising. Does anybody have a crowbar? And please stand out of the way.
I have a crowbar.
All right, I'm gonna take the torch. I'm gonna say, Trefco, you are strong and mighty. Here is a crowbar. Open this chest, but use caution and do not stand directly in front of it.
I'm getting out of that room.
He kind of looks at you strangely, like, you know what I mean? Like I could just, Trefco open, no need for tool.
Oh, if Trefco is that much of a man, you go right ahead.
Okay, so you don't tell him use the crowbar.
No, I think I should. Yeah, Trefco, use the crowbar. Stand off to the side. You can pry it open and not be directly in front when all the cloud of needles comes out.
You might break a nail or something. Yeah.
All right, yeah. So he does. It takes him a little while to figure out like how to use this thing, but he figures it out and he pops it. As he pops the lock, and a little needle pops out.
Yeah. See,
Listen.
Trefco, Mortis wise.
He like reaches out a finger to like pick up the
No. All right.
So he doesn't understand why you're so scared, but he throws the chest over towards you. Open now.
Okay. So let's see what's in the stone chest.
In the stone chest, there is some money. There is 450. These are modern coins. 456 SP, and there is 278 GP. There is what appears to be a mummified goblin paw. Is in there as well.
I don't like it.
And there is let's see here what the exact description is. There appears to be a winged statuette. Tiny. It's in the form of a silver lizard. It's about 3 inches in length.
Okay.
And there appears to be a word, an ancient Arcantian word that is inscribed along the length of the lizard's back. I actually don't have it written down here, but it would likely be some sort of like Latin version of the word lizard. So would that be Saurus? Something like that?
Let's call it Saurus.
Sounds great.
Okay. Anything else in there?
No.
So his entire retirement fund was not that big. Classic.
How many fingers are still up on the goblin paw?
Good question. No, it's just a...
It's just the one.
Yeah.
So if I gave Trefco a sack and filled it up with all those coins, would he need 2 arms to carry it and he'd still have 2 left?
Yeah. Wait, to carry what?
If I filled a large sack with all that coin,
Yeah.
and said, "Here, Trefco," and he needs 2 hands to carry a large sack, he'd still have 2 for fighting, right?
Yes, yeah. Yep.
I think that sounds like a splendid plan. I will fill
You're
up.
driving the monkey. Yeah.
I'm driving the monkey. Is that a Peter Gabriel song? Yeah, I'm going to fill up a sack full of all these coins and the stuff, and give it to Trefco and ask him to carry it.
Okay. That takes a turn to like kind of sort through the chest and transfer everything and all that kind of good stuff. but you do so. As you are in the midst of sort of like poring over whoever's treasure this used to be in the chest, so you're in the northern of the two square rooms, right?
Right.
From the southern door in the chamber beyond, in the sort of command center there, you hear that door, even though it was open, you hear it slam against the wall inside, like it opens up even further, and you hear a terrible, awful, screeching sound come out of like a torn throat, and it's joined by another one, as you hear a number of horrible undead voices move into the room, and not only that, but you hear them coming rapidly, unlike the Beastman zombies. Okay, and you can see movement in the darkness beyond, and the edges of your torchlight in the other room, and you see scuttling humanoid figures moving towards you on all fours, and awful enough, it looks like one of them actually has its head is sort of almost severed completely. It's just sort of dangling like some sort of awful thing but its eyes are laser focused on you. Yellow, looks like it used to be a pig head on top of the body. Moving towards you. Looks like the corpses of beastmen that are moving rapidly. Its hands, as they're kind of moving towards you, appear to be unnaturally elongated and clawed, definitely more so than your normal beastmen would have.
Ghouls?
Ghouls.
I think it's ghouls. Whoever's closest to that door to the command HQ should kick that door shut, and we should go away.
In all probability, that would be me because I'm usually in the back of the line, so I will close that.
No, you were off detecting the male. I think it's
sure.
actually Breggy is right there.
Fine, I'll do it. I don't care.
Yeah.
John, I slammed the door shut.
Okay.
Before we get into combat, I just want to remind you I have to roll hit points for my new level if we end up in combat.
Okay. So you slam the door, and it you can hear immediately like bodies like hit against it, and just like this awful tearing sound as they scrape at the door. You can see like rapid movement and shadows underneath the seam of the door and everything on your inner torchlight.
Run away or fight?
To determine the number, John, before I shut the door.
It actually, so you definitely saw two in your initial glance, and then right as you shut the door, Breggy, you see like over those creatures' shoulders, you saw not only another one on all fours, but looming shadows on two legs behind them as well, which you couldn't quite make out how many more, but they appeared to be upright and moving a little bit slower.
So a serious fight on our hands. I don't know, guys. What do you want to do? Gut reactions. Run away.
As soon as we let this door open, they're going to chase us down.
What did you say, Mike?
Yeah, so let's.
As soon as this door opens, they're going to chase us down.
Right.
So let's take the
this
chair
one.
from
Maybe
the.
we could spike, and the sound will probably not carry that far. Why don't we spike this one?
Okay.
Okay. Mark off
Sure.
however many spikes you want to
Who's
use.
got spikes?
I've got some.
All right.
Wait, 4?
I don't know how many we need, but 4 seems like a good number.
That seems fine. I've got 12, so now I have 8.
All right. And then, so back out, close the other door behind us.
And go west again?
Looking at the map, I like west because maybe that'll take us back towards the Great Hall and we can get the hell out of here.
Okay, so with the scrabbling sound of your imminent death behind you, you retreat. And you are, sorry, are you, yeah, so okay, you're in the corridor, that's the only direction, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you back out, you're done with this room?
Close the door behind us.
Okay, very good.
And this western door, David listened at and very obviously didn't detect anything, so we should open it very carefully also.
Okay. Is that you, Mark?
David?
You're muted, yeah.
So I said, let's just kick it. Let's kick it. Why not?
Okay, kick it.
We're in a
That's
rush.
the deal.
We're in a rush.
We'll surprise them.
Okay, so you're going to kick down the door. This is actually a really good place to take our first break, but before we do that real quick, why don't we have Mike roll his dwarf's new hit points?
Solid. Good idea.
5.
5. Okay. No added bonus to reach go to 5th level, so just the hit points. So that's good.
27.
27. Very nice. All right. Makes you wonder why. Yeah, we should be sending Breggy in first. I guess the pain of Gornd is still too fresh. We will be back in just a moment. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. Bladders empty, beers full. Okay, so Upior kicks down, or is it Mort who kicks down the door? Upior?
Mort will do it.
Probably a good idea. Mort kicks down the door at Upior's urging.
Yes. Thank you, Upior.
Revealing a heartbreaking sight.
Oh, no.
A large chamber, 40 feet north to south, 20 feet east to west. You are entering in from the door on the southeastern side of the eastern wall. In addition, there is a passageway that leads westward on the western wall, 10 feet from the southern wall. That is not the heartbreaking part, though. The heartbreaking part.
Does that look right, John? On the
Yeah, I was handling things pretty well up to
now. What's heartbreaking is there appears to be in the northeastern corner of the room, huddled, holding each other, are approximately 10 or so beastmen young that look absolutely terrified. And they're
not dead?
They're whimpering, and they all decide to jerk back as the torchlight enters their room, and they look fearfully at you, and they sort of pull back their multiple animal-headed, their heads, like their lips kind of pull back in like a fierce, like if we're going to die here, we're going to die here, but not without a fight sort of thing. But they're all very young, like very, obviously children. The women who you saw in the other harem with children are nowhere to be found.
Right.
There is no blood.
Mort will take that scepter and hold it out where they can see it. And what's the phrase for a group? Banda is the smaller group, but Tagma is the larger.
Tagma is the whole entire beastman thing.
So I'll just say, attention, Banda, stand at attention. I'm here to protect you.
They look fearfully. You can see that they obviously recognize the rod, but they look fearfully at you, and they don't do it. They just kind of huddle.
I am Mort J. Gobliono, friend to Beastman.
They don't run away, but they they're terrified. Their eyes are wide. They look like they're in a state of shock and trauma.
John, I'm going to be listening from the way we came to see if I hear like slavering ghouls chasing us.
You can hear them off in the distance, but in the direction from which you left them.
All right, I'll go up and I'll sort of get down on one knee in front of the younglings and I'll say something like, "Look, I get it. You're terrified, but there's ghouls and zombies in here, and you've got to come with us, or you're going to be eaten alive."
Given your
way to calm down the kids.
Stand up.
Given your history with innocent folk that don't know what's coming, do you don't want to kill them all?
Might be a mercy long term, but I'm not going to do it. No.
It's also to be clear too. That it's also furnished with. There's about like 10 sleeping areas, a couple of small tables. There's a bunch of mundane items, some wicker baskets. All of this stuff you also saw in kind of different areas and a different layout in the other harem room as well.
Yeah.
But it looks like the equipment is. It doesn't look like it's been ransacked, but it looks like some of it's been knocked over in a rush to kind of get by it. And it's fairly obvious that the line of traffic was moving towards the east rapidly.
Yeah. The soldiers came from their room and they ran east to go fight, and they all died over in the torture room and the veterans room. So whichever of the younglings in that group looks the sort of the most oldest or possibly the least afraid, I'll ask that one, what's to the west from here?
To the west? It's the
Just let me look it up for a second. Give me a second. Don't put me on the spot. Scary man.
I've got a PDF here in my.
I'm just a little goblin.
I think I got a
my God,
PDF
this plot,
somewhere.
this plot is so evolved. We just have to consider for a second how evolved the story is going to be.
The pig company's headquarters, and in the Great Hall.
Perfect.
Where
Safety lies to the west.
Where's my mother?
Oh, she's coming.
We'll find them as soon as we can, but I think it's best if you come with me to safety now. Are you ready to be a strong soldier of the Banda?
Do you have any sort of like
charisma? Yeah, I have a +1 to charisma.
Okay, give me a second.
I got the Riz, yo.
Yeah, you do.
No. They don't obey you. They look too terrified.
All right. What?
There's a gold piece in it for each of you.
They're in shock. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we give them like a more secure little hiding place to make them feel better, and we can check out what's to the west and see if there's like a safe passage for them to follow.
I know. Trefco will protect you.
Now, that was part of my thinking. If they can hide behind a table, they won't see the giant mutant baboon.
There are a bunch of tables
That's
that
my
are
friend.
in the room. You
Great
could form
idea.
you could form like a fort or something, or like a barricade or something.
Build them a fort. We're gonna build a fort. Lots of cushions, lots of blankets. Stick them in the corner.
If you want to do that, I'm going to say it's going to take about 2 turns. Is that okay with you to form like a proper sort of barricade where they don't have to watch?
I mean,
I think they'll be lucky to get a 1-turn fort.
That's fine. Okay, so after one turn pass,
fort. I like it.
1 turn fort. At that point, Trefco's torch goes out.
Oh, spooky! I can see fine.
I will. He'll
light
pass,
another
pass
one.
off it. Okay, you got another one. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're marking off a torch and giving it back to Trefco?
Yep, I just did.
Do we have 2 other players in the group? Because I have not heard from either of them in quite some time.
Here, I'm in. I'm playing. This feels like Ted's show, so we're letting him take Ted. You take the show.
Okay, what do you do?
I feel so called out. I don't. Yes.
All right, fort's been built. What do you do?
Ruining everything. I say, let's go west now that the children are hiding under a fort.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so you head west, and this corridor goes down as you carefully, just waiting to kind of see if anything's out of sorts. The sounds of the undead sort of dwindle off into the distance, and all you can hear is the very, very faint whimpering of the children. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's a 60-foot long corridor heading directly west before it ends in a door on the western wall. However, there are 2 doors prior to that. One is on the southern wall at the 30-foot mark from the west.
From the west?
From the west, yeah.
So before I start drawing here, John, between this harem and the barricade to the Great Hall, I've got 70 feet.
Yeah, but
so
this
the door you're
corridor
talking
is
about
60 feet.
So the door you're talking about at the end of it is not the barricade.
That's correct.
Okay. So I've got a door and a door.
You got it, yep. And then there is another door that is directly on the northern wall, right next to the western door.
And a door.
Yes. Now,
okay.
Let me just check. So that door is definitely, the northern door is open. The western door is shut. And then the southern door, let me just check, is also shut.
Okay. So the northern door is ajar.
Actually, you know what? I'm lying. The southern door is also ajar. So only the western door is shut. Sorry.
Okay.
No light except for your torch.
All right. Oops. I'm starting to erase walls here.
I'm also wrong. Sorry, there is flickering light coming from the northern opening.
Okay. All right, guys. Who wants to go first down this hall?
Do we?
I'll do it. I'm just going to go, John. I'm going to go down and I'm going to peek in the door with the flickering light.
Okay. Looking in there, it appears that it's fairly obvious from what's inside that this is obviously the headquarters of Pig Company, otherwise known as the Porcine Conturb. Is that porcine or porcine? I think it's porcine.
I've always said porcine, but
porcine.
Yeah. So this is a very large chamber, the largest that you've been in since you were in Deino's chamber. So this is rectangular. It is 34, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 55. Why do you got to do that to us, Richard? Why do you got to make it 55? 55 feet east to west and 20 feet north to south. And you are entering in at the 40-foot mark from the east. Okay. So the extra 5 feet is actually on the western side of the room if you're going by squares, Ted.
Okay. So what was it, 55 by 20?
You got it right there, Ted. That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Any doors or anything in there?
No doors in this. So, Breggy, when you look in there, however, it's lit with flickering torchlight. Okay. And it's obvious that whoever was stationed in here, you assume Pig Company, mobilized extremely quickly, grabbed all their weapons off the weapon racks, and left this room in an ordered hurry. It's very Spartan, very neat. Although there is some signs of quick movement, as I said, there are well-ordered bed mounds that are all surrounding like a trestle table in the middle with some dice on it. The far wall on the northern wall displays the tattered Pig Company banner with the mailed fist. And there are hanging from that banner are some small fetishes like bone, a few slips of parchment like battle mementos, that sort of thing. But it's like the company standard, right? You've seen this a couple places. Let's see, where is that? In the far, far southwestern corner of the room on the southern wall is a small arrow slit that looks out upon the actual sort of sally port that enters the Great Hall. It's a great, like, kind of a murder hole, right? Like, so yeah.
John, is it fair to say or ask, having awareness now that this is the Porcine Hall, that we saw many porcine corpses in our traversal of this last couple of days?
Are you asking me a question?
Did we see a lot of pig face bodies?
Do we see a lot of pig corpses? All I was asking. Yeah, sorry.
Well,
I phrased that word.
The faces of the beastmen doesn't necessarily correspond to their conturb.
That's correct. Yeah. You've seen the basic, like, pretty equal mix of different kinds of heads. Yeah. So there is also there is a stone chest along one wall, similar to the one that you found in the smaller, higher ups chamber. That appears to be shut. And it actually looks like this company was particularly interested in collecting, or maybe as trophies, or you're not really sure, of busts and other bits of statuary, which are sort of dotted around the room in various places. One, you can tell, it's a bust, like the kind that, a bust, so it's got a round pedestal, a round base that you would kind of stick on top of a piano, right? Normally it would be like Beethoven, but this one, you can easily tell, because you've seen the face so many different places represented. Can you guess who it is?
Priscus Pulcher.
Correct. Bingo, Mike. Very well.
Job.
And on the, how like the busts usually have like a little plaque on the bottom. It actually says, and I think this might be the first time you've actually seen the name written associated with the head. It actually says Priscus Pulcher along the base. Handsome young man, close cropped hair, trim beard, smiling eyes. And I should say the smiling eyes are sort of like the way that they sort of crinkle, like the wrinkles from a smile. But the sockets, similar to how you've also often seen Priscus Pulcher displayed, are empty.
Wonder if it's the same size of that gem that we have.
Absolutely. That would be cool.
The strangest thing in the room, however, amongst all these busts of differing Archontians from the past, is what appears to be in a glass jar, floating in a yellowish liquid, is a mummified head. It appears to be a human head, wisps of hair, kind of relatively well preserved in what you assume to be some sort of embalming liquid. But difficult to tell anything further from it.
Well, that's gross.
The eyes are sort of rolled back up in the head.
Ooh, it's got extra eyes.
True.
He's not using them.
What kind of magic powers do you guys think if we drink the embalming fluid?
I love to drink some.
Yeah, you first.
As a Victorian lad, I'd love to, solve all of my illnesses with some embalming. But
All right.
I will say this. I'm not disinterested in the curio of this head in this room, but I think we've gotten pretty strong evidence that if Neferet was fleeing, they didn't come this way. And I think if we're concerned about Neferet's timeline and our position, I think turning back soon is the better part of valor. So what do you guys think?
I think we turn around and go find that mummy.
And we bounce out.
I think we're going to have to find our way through all the undead to get to her, though.
Well, wait a minute, guys. So the only clue that we have to where she went was when we asked Scleros and he pointed to the northeast, right? I think the most likely thing, like if she is looking for this librarian and maybe she's expended some resources and is looking for a place to hunker down. My suspicion, the place I think that would make the most sense for her is in that room over by Jacobus, where it's lined with those TV tiles that show the debouchement. That seems to be the place where she would be, because then she has a view of the debouchement.
Totally agree.
I mean,
Right?
but
And I think
I don't think that's impossible, but why would she in particular want to know about the debouchement?
that's the best place where she can keep an eye on places without having to actually be there.
No, I see that. My point being, though, is she comes up out of a 5,000-year slumber, and the first thing she wants to do is go watch the debouchement?
No, I think what happens is we assault her, and she needs to rest. And the safest place to rest is a rest place in which you have an awareness of your threats. Hence Matt's concern here. And she does. And then she clears out the basement. And now, I mean, not that it's about like spell slots per se, but now let's say whether she took damage or not, she needs to rest again. Where am I going to rest if I'm her?
Right. I think if Sclero said northeast, we should go check that out, because there's a whole bunch of things that, whatchamacallit, Thothian related things in that northeast area, right? Like, I mean, it could be, maybe she's hiding behind a secret door. Maybe she's looking for a way back to the chasm. Maybe she's heading to that staircase down that we never went to. There's like a whole bunch of areas that that she could be going to.
Yes.
I mean, we can go do that if we want to, confront her, right? If we want to go confront her, that's the place. That's, maybe we want to do that. Maybe we don't. But I'm thinking, like, right now, she's in kind of a sealed corridor, right? Like, from the place where she is, or again, all assuming, right? All assuming. I could be completely wrong. But if she's in that room, right, we lock the doors going south. She has only one direction really to go. That's towards, people who have her stuff, which is us, right? We still have the circlet, which she wants. She wants your mask, Mort. So, we're an enticing target. I think that, because I've been looking at the map, I think that there's a way to lure her back west. If she's in there, lure her back west through that chamber with the floaty electric squid guys, and then trap her in that little secret hallway going north towards the debouchement.
I love that. I'm here for it.
We're all set. And if so, we can do anything we want. We can go hunt her down. We can go check the hallways below us, maybe kill some undead. But I think she's there. Yeah, could be wrong. But if we go west now, we could start setting up that, Scooby-Doo trap for her. Or we can go south and like try to, make sure, like, clear this place out. If she has expended these resources, she is going to want to rest anyway. It's just a thought. We can do whatever you guys want to do.
That's what you do.
Well, go to the northeast. That's what I think.
I think that we know it was her. We know she went that direction. Holding up in that area is presumably what she would do. I just she could very easily get access to the chasm, and we could have lost her entirely by now. But I also think that Mother is still in here somewhere. We don't have a corpse, and she might be able to help if she isn't dead. We might be able to get some more beastmen on our side. I think there's certainly reasons to keep looking around. Plus, there's 10 little younglings that are about to get eaten by ghouls and become little tiny ghoul babies.
Okay. Okay. Well, if we want to do that,
that's what Mort's saying. I mean, if everybody votes the opposite, then that's what we'll do. But
all right, let's just do a show of hands. Northeast or keep exploring the complex? Northeast. Okay.
Oh man,
keep exploring the complex.
Ted, you're not voting for anything.
John, you have to be a tiebreaker, John.
Not going to happen.
Well, okay, so here's what I'll say. Ideal world, I would love to curry favor with like the living beastmen, of which I don't think there are any. Or at minimum, Mom, if we could find her, right? At her weakness in this moment, whether she has like plans long term to ally with us or manipulate us or whatever, I think this is a good leverage point. So like in abstract, would love to find Mom. I don't know that we're going to find Mom if we haven't at this point. So the concern I have,
she's likely to retreat to, but go ahead.
Well, and that's the question. Where would she retreat to?
Well, probably that secret door in her bedchamber is more than likely her like lock-up safe room.
Yes.
And why wouldn't Scleros point to that?
He was pointing towards.
We didn't ask where
the killer.
Yeah, we asked where the person was who did this.
So then, that being in mind, soft like pitch. Well, let's not faff about younglings and all. May they be protected. Let's check that assumption and let's immediately move towards wherever we think Neferet might be. And I think Matt's plan is very wise. How do we go about that? I think like there is some time pressure.
Yeah, you're right about spell slots. We don't want her to rest. If she's hurt and has used up all her flame blasts, now's a good time to hit her again.
I got 4, or we all have 4. I'll spread them out. Little
Beads of force.
5d6 prisons that we can throw at her.
Okay.
Which for 10 minutes each are a stopper, even if the damage doesn't kill her. So think about that as a tool that we have in our pocket. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
So you're going to continue the hunt for Neferet. So which direction do you go?
Yeah, that's my question. Do you want to go back through the area where we know there's ghouls waiting for us, or do we want to loop around?
I mean, we can try to loop around. All I would say is like, I know for certain if the younglings are alive that she did not go westward.
Yep.
Right. So that's the big hint there is like she definitely went east, but the zombies are a risk. So we could go west, loop around, go through the like cephalopod room and like make our way in that direction if we want to like cut fast, but I don't think we should like a minute by minute in that way. Does it make sense? Or turn by turn?
Wait, say that again.
I'm also. Go ahead.
All I was saying is like, I think our objective should be to go eastward,
Yeah.
If we don't want to engage with zombies, it is plausible that we can go west and go through like the cephalopod room to achieve east. But I think we should do that like double speed. I think we should literally be sprinting through it. I don't think we should be cautiously crawling.
Yeah.
If we're taking those extra rooms into account. Is that what I'm saying?
What about this? What about we do a little backtrack thing? We go west out of the porcine contour into the Great Hall and go back into the Beastman complex through the Sheep Company route, which we know does not intersect with those rooms that have the ghouls in it. We loop all the way around up to the common room again. And we could check that secret door and then go northeast.
Can you guys put your pointer where the ghouls were coming from? Because I was still
Right here.
reading in and I didn't really catch that.
So we were in the officers' quarters, and they were coming in through this command HQ. So we locked this door here, and we went this way.
Ted said you're frozen. Your cursor's frozen.
Yeah.
What's wrong?
Command. Your cursor's frozen if you're trying to indicate, but this is the command HQ right here.
Really?
Officer's cursor. Yeah.
Oh,
So zombies here.
Yeah.
Hence looping around, Mike.
Yep.
Okay, so what do you do?
At a pure curiosity level, also just like going through that south door and then going east. I know there are undead there, but I'm curious. Let's close out the map. I would
maybe. Well, and to your point, I would go south if I was going anywhere other than retreat. South is the way. So why not? Oh, kick open the door. Why not?
Let's do it.
It's open already, so we can just go south and then.
Well,
east.
I haven't seen a drawing, so it doesn't count until Ted draws it. So do your work, Ted. Do it.
we haven't looked in it yet. Jeez Louise.
So where are you going?
Okay, it looks like, John, we're going to open the south door in the hallway because after all that, we decided to not do any of it.
Okay, so that door was already open, but it was dark. And you can see immediately that this was a supply closet that had been quickly accessed and valuable things taken out of it. For mapping purposes, it is a 10-foot north to south by 20 feet east to west, entering in from the northeastern side of the north wall. No other egresses in sight, completely dark, not ransacked, but quickly rummaged through in good order. And it just looks like it was filled with a bunch of like adventuring gear and some weapons, coils of rope, that sort of thing. But anything of value has been taken. If there is a particular excuse me. If there is a particular piece of mundane equipment that you could convince me might still be there, I'd be happy to give it to you.
I'll also put money that there might be a secret door going south from that supply closet. So, are you guys willing to spend a turn searching?
Well, who's wearing the talisman?
That's true.
The
Who's wearing it?
Oh, you mean the circlet?
Yeah.
Lothar wasn't it?
Wolfart just has it in his bag. He doesn't.
Put it on.
He doesn't want to use
Or
it.
I'll take it. Give it to
Give
me.
it to Upior.
Yeah, Opio. He doesn't want to wear it.
I'll put it on. And I'll look south.
You were putting on, and I might add, nonchalantly, the Iron Circlet of Gonor. That's what you're doing.
Listen.
In a closet.
Not just nonchalantly, but vi victus. I will put a 20 episode approximation to my domination of this entire campaign with this circlet right now.
When you don the circlet,
market moving.
you feel the same thing that Lothar felt, which is an immense pressure of on your brow, and you can feel your life force sort of attach itself to the circlet as well as the circlet draws your life force in to power itself a little bit, and your vision expands beyond human comprehension as you're able to see everything that others cannot. And turning with your newfound power first to a supply closet, you see nothing.
I see nothing. All right.
Are there really good supplies, though? Can he see the really good supplies now?
Here's the thing. Upior is a very unreliable narrator, so I'm going to say, boys, there's a button on that southerly wall. You just have to push it slightly to the left, 10 foot up, left to right, you know. I'm not going to troll y'all, but okay. Well, I will exit that room.
Do you keep the circlet on?
I keep the circlet on.
Okay.
So do you want to just go straight east then? or work our way back around and go through Sheep Company.
Loop around. What if we loop around and go down the middle one?
I do want to just
think
point
that's
out
gonna be
David, that we spent a lot of time convincing everyone that the circlet stole my eyeballs and then disappeared. So if you run into somebody again and you have your eyeballs and you still have the circlet, then we might have a little problem.
You're ruining his whole story.
Yeah. The one silver lining.
I don't think anyone that we will meet in these halls needs to live to tell the tale.
Okay.
My friend.
Okay, so which direction do you go?
I will take it off post haste if we go into an area in which I'm worried about onlookers. Truly.
Okay.
All right. So my vote is that middle hallway going east, but however you guys want to go.
That's just going to connect back up with all those ghouls. I guarantee it. If you want to avoid ghouls, don't go down that middle hallway.
Maybe they just want to be friends.
Well, right now the ghouls are trying to get up north. We could close them in, lock them in, but lock the door in behind them.
I mean,
Well,
yeah, if you want to interact with ghouls.
If we want to go, we can go straight east if you want, and we can tell the kids to go hide in that it's all clear to go back this way and go hide in the porcine contour room and shut the door.
Ted, you're forgetting we have Trepco.
Can I clarify something with you, John? Sorry. I'm looking for the listing of the circlet's powers. It's not in our notes. It's perhaps in the treasure tracker, but I know there is a form of mind control or crowd control.
Mass charm. Like
Mass charm.
3 times per day.
Does
Maybe
mass charm affect the undead? Guys?
Almost guarantee it does not. Yeah.
No.
All right.
It'll affect all those younglings.
Oh. Way to beat me to it, brother. Well, then, all I'm saying is this. I think I should mass charm the younglings and have them make a fucking beat for it in the direction we want to go as a distraction for the zombies. And tell them, run as fast as you can. Run as fast as you, oh my God, run as fast as you can.
That's just
And we
evil,
should,
dude.
we should, are we not?
Not evil.
Are we not?
No, David, you're the only one who's chaotic evil. You are like
Sure. Who assassinated both a bunch of helpless wine darks and his own companion?
I do not want to get into the good versus evil discussion again.
Let's
Let's take a course of action here and stick to it.
I'm not going to do it if y'all don't want me to do it. I'm not insincere, but I'm also not trying to push for it. My point is, like, it could be a distraction.
I would prefer you don't send the children to die.
Fair.
We're either interacting with the children or we're not. And if you guys don't want to get into that thing, if you want to keep moving, I say the fastest thing we can do, the safest thing we can do is loop around through Sheep Company, come back up, and we can check the secret door. Maybe we find Mother. If not, then we go straight up the hallway and go look for Neferet. If we go straight east from here, we're going to run into zombies. We can avoid them if we go around.
Okay.
Let's just loop around for the sake of efficiency because...
Okay. Are you moving at fast pace through already explored territory? Sprinting?
I think we can move through a little faster through known territory, yeah.
Okay, so as you move through the western door, there is just a small section of hallway that does move right up to the barricade. Okay, you can see there that they've got the little raised steps that kind of move up so that they can actually fire through that open area of the barricade into the Great Hall that you saw from the other end. It basically mirrors exactly what you saw when you entered through Sheep Company. So when you burst through that door into the Great Hall, moving at a rapid pace, you see that you surprise what appears to be like a 4-person squad of skulking goblins who have just recently entered through the double doors in the west of the Great Hall. And they're all like low to the ground and crouched, and they're sort of investigating the room and kind of looking warily towards the east. They have their weapons out because they heard you guys in the up north there. As you burst through, they also stand up and they're like, ah! And they're like, ah, it's you.
I shall hold out that scepter and I shall say, "Flee now, the dead walk among us."
And they look terrified. They're like, we heard from some of the goblins that were preparing for the party that the beastmen retreated quickly, that there was some sort of disaster. What news?
Undead have arisen and slay all they see.
Disaster. The king has been warned that something has occurred, but he is still on his way.
Oh, let him not enter these rooms. His life is forfeit should he come here. Unless, of course, the AV Club has managed to take care of everything before he arrives, I'll let you know.
We shall inform Bottleneck. Close the doors. Close the doors.
Defend the borders. Defend them.
They run through the western doors and shut them with a bang.
John,
Yeah.
is the secret door to Neferet's chambers open or
Good
closed?
question.
Close. All it is it's a bell of a trumpet, right? So it doesn't look like a door.
Got you. It's big enough though to go through, right?
Or does it open into something?
It does open up in yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not at floor level. It's like up high. You know?
Yeah, it's it. Yeah.
I'm trying to determine if I can tell that she's still using it. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know how we do that, guys, without going back into her chambers. We don't have to do that right now. I'm wondering if that's her hidey hole, you know?
Upior, you're still wearing the iron circlet?
I am.
Okay, so you can detect, Upior, that in addition to that, the bell of that trumpet registering as a secret door. Am I thinking about the right thing, or is that the death mask that does this?
The circlet does true seeing all the time. The death mask does it for like a couple of turns.
Right.
I'll wear them both. Why not? Give it to me.
It's fine. So the iron circlet also detects, though, something that you didn't previously know about, which is 10 feet to the north of the bell secret door. There's another secret door.
I run straight to it and I kick it open as fast.
That's going to go to the arrow slits, guys. That's what we've been.
That's where, that's where you go.
Wait,
trying to figure out where the arrow slits.
Well, it might. 10 feet north of it?
John, I'm going to look for any sort of levers, buttons, etc., or I will just push the open me now.
Okay, so yeah, you basically can determine like the dimensions of where the door is, and so even though it doesn't give you the indication of what triggers it, if you spend a turn to sort of investigate the area, you can find it. Is that okay with you?
I would love to.
Okay, so yeah, spend a turn. I'm actually going to knock off another. No, because you move fast. Never mind. So yeah, one turn. And yeah, you see that there is a stone panel that you just depress inwards, and the door opens inward, revealing a narrow 5 foot wide corridor that heads 5 feet. That it's 5 feet wide, that heads 10 feet to the west before turning a corner.
To the north?
First question I have.
Okay.
First question I have, John, which was a question that I believe Matt asked. Is there's a very potent scent that we associated with Neferet, and I would like to, before anyone else has entered the room or like tainted that space, just take the biggest whiff I can and just sort of like bring it in and see if I smell anything familiar, even the faintest scent.
The familiar scent you smell is the scent of beastmen.
Okay, good to know.
You don't hear anything.
This is how they get in their arrow room. Yeah.
Does it smell like musky thatch? Did he just fill up on that?
Damn.
All right, that bear in mind, just to make this excessively quick, John, I am fully going to double speed sprint straight around the corner and south. No caution at all. I'm just fucking going through.
Right, David with his highest level magic user thus far, throwing caution to the wind.
Fine.
I love it. So it turns a corner to the south. That corner is actually a 10-foot wide corner there, Ted. Just so you're aware. So it opens up into it.
10 feet.
Yeah. So the initial corridor is 5 feet wide, but then when it hooks to the south, it actually opens up into a 10-foot wide, and does indeed open up into a 30-foot wide, 10-foot high, 30-foot east to west, 10-foot north to south room. Indeed, Mike, in all of his genius, did guess that this is indeed the station with the arrow slits. There are 3 of them.
Well done.
The guards that were there, that you've seen every single time through those arrow slits, are no longer there. They also look to have hastily left. There appears to be like some round, like stationary quivers that are it's stationed next to the arrow slits, but all of the arrows have been taken out of them. Holy, so there's no evidence. There's evidence that someone left here quickly, but there's nothing of value here.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were all to depend.
on that note, now that you kind of filled out that section of the map, well done. We are going to take our second break, and we will be right back. All right, we are back. Bladder's empty, beer is full. There is a major thing that I've forgotten all these different times that you guys have crisscrossed the Great Hall that I apologize for. Although I don't think it would have affected your decision making, but you can yell at me if you want. Assuming you go back out into the Great Hall, the right in between the two secret doors, so the normal one that you just went through, and then the trumpet which leads to Neferet's tomb, right? There is actually a mouth that only appears when you kind of crossed from the south to the north and approached that secret door that the Iron Circlet revealed. A magic mouth sort of appears on the wall and speaks in modern Arcantian. And it says, "The path of Lord Priscus is the path to enlightenment and fulfillment. The eyes will tell you the way."
Oh my god.
Just to clarify, where exactly is the mouth emerging from?
Like literally in between the two S signs. Okay. And after it speaks, it actually sort of melds back into the stone and disappears.
I don't like that. Not one bit.
And it says it in a very, I kind of didn't deliver it correctly, but it kind of says it in like a very cheerful, offhand way. Like with a smile in its voice.
In my day, walls just sat there, didn't talk to you.
But assuming you don't do anything else, you're going to continue your sprint back into the compound?
Well, with the caveat that, like, now that I'm in the arrow slit room, I'm going to look left, right, up, down, and make sure I don't see any other secret passages with the circlet.
You don't.
Okay.
Right.
I'm going to fart through one of the arrow slits, and then I'm going to run north and back out.
Okay.
All right. Been tracking us by our scent too, just so you know.
Right.
So
years of college of magic, and this is what we get.
So again, the preparations for the party were in full effect. They've been rapidly scattered, but there is no signs of actual battle happening here. It just looks like a lot of hurried movement happened recently. Yes. And you continued that trend by bustling towards the southern entrance, the way that you initially were escorted through Beastman compound, racing through as fast as you can, and coming across those scenes of horror as you move rapidly to the east. And you're moving at about 270 now because you're moving triple your speed. So that's going to be 27 squares, which I'm going to guesstimate here that within a one turn, you could return to Deino's bedchamber. You can hear, let's see, when you get to, let's see, I know that listeners won't be able to see this, but if you guys can see right here, when you get to this part of the corridor, you can, why didn't I note that? There's definitely a door. I thought I probably should have said that if I didn't. There is a door 20 feet into the north.
I did. My screen. Oh, somebody just moved everything.
That was me this time. Sorry, 1 second.
Not me.
It was me this time.
So 20 feet east.
Well,
along that corridor, there is a door to the north.
Well, my whole plan. Okay, it's closed.
No, it is open.
And okay.
You can hear, from beyond there is actually some flickering light, and you can actually see movement in that light and hear the sounds of moaning and hissing and scrabbling. Do you want to continue just whipping by there?
I think that's probably a smart idea.
Or should we close that door, perhaps? If it's a jar.
We should maybe close the door. Just also, FYI, I controlled Z my movement, but it still seems like we're like marching off of the grid.
Someone else did it.
Someone else reacted after I did.
No, it's not me.
We'll fix it later. Again, worth stating, circlets on, looking everywhere, John. You know, I'm being very active about that. Mike, did you share the info somewhere?
So I don't have it written down specifically, but I know it does true seeing at all times, mass charm once per day, clairvoyance and clairaudience separately 3 times per day.
Okay.
So you continue running down the hallway. Do you close that door?
Yeah, I think very quietly we just like close that door.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you close the door. The sounds are still there, but they dissipate. And you continue running through the armory, training grounds, around the corner, and to the north through the common room where the teleportation circle is, and through the doors. Count Scleros's body is still there. His mouth open against the bed.
Which I would like to search this time.
Okay.
But
for the key to the chest that we opened.
Well, there's probably something else on there. But we didn't, because we didn't search him last time, right?
No, we did not.
Believe we did.
We did not.
We got distracted by her armoire.
While they're doing that, I think I should start testing the clairvoyance, or Matt's sort of like suggestion, right? And the first location I should perhaps do that in is the TV room, for like a better description.
Yeah.
So I got 3 per day, you said, Mike. So I'm going to hit my first, and I'm going to immediately think of priests and their observance of everything, and think like, if I were to be in a defensive posture, this is exactly where I'd be. So I'm going to watch. Boom.
Where are you watching?
I forgot how we designated
the cloister. With
the cloister, for like, that's the way to describe it.
Where we
Right,
think
Yeah,
where the tiles have like kind of a
opuses,
CCV. Yeah, CCV.
Gotcha. Okay,
I'm gonna hit that cloister.
And you're searching the body, Mort?
Yes.
Okay, so the body first. First of all, he's wearing obviously a lovely suit of chainmail. It is not the black silver chased one that you saw on the stand. It's normal, but it's obviously magical. You can just tell, like, it's like very, very finely made and wrought, like unnaturally shiny. He's also wielding a shining, or he had at his side a spear that is the barb of which is also shining, obviously magical. That actually has some blood on it, and he is wearing a cloak that looks valuable and a ring. Give me 1 second. I didn't have these hyperlinks, so just give me a moment. So the cloak, it's really cool actually. It ripples with scores of shades of gray, black, and white. So it kind of changes it depending on where you're standing or where it moves. And it looks very much like it camouflages him in the stone, like the surrounding stone in the room. Basically, it's pretty cool. There's that, and then in addition, the ring he's wearing is called that, and I'm looking up that.
You can just read it out. It's fine.
Sounds cool to me.
Yeah.
The ring of cool stuff.
Ooh, it's quite beautiful. So it's an ivory band, a white band, with a large white pearl mounted on one side of it.
All right. Sorry, Scleros. And we're gonna pull that armor off of him. Who wants magic? Mort can't wear it, right? Or he couldn't even have it modified to wear it.
Yeah, you need some high magic to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's pull it off him anyway. Sorry, Scleros.
You don't want to like use the raised dead scroll on him or anything?
I didn't like it that
but-
much.
Oh.
Okay, so you're taking the chain off?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll say that takes the same turn that Upior is actually using clairvoyance.
Yeah.
Do you take anything else off of him?
All of it.
Okay,
Spear,
so write it down.
cloak, ring. Yep.
Write it down.
I'm gonna have to put the armor into the sack that Trefko's carrying. And can Trefko use a weapon? Could he take the spear for now?
I don't think he will.
His claws are probably better.
Yeah, he's not like really too skilled with weapon use. There is, I don't have it written down because I wasn't prepared for it, but there is a command word that is on the ring. And someone here reads Mithric, right? Upior does? Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
It would be in Mithric, and it would be a Mithric word for, let's see, I think it would be something like unseen death, I think is sort of what it would say.
That's
Sicarius.
Or like unlooked for death. Something
It's like a false life. No, I don't know.
or a ring of protection, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Might be.
I think it's like in a reverse.
Or is
It
it like some sort of thing like turns you invisible and lets you kill people like Upior?
I'm thinking
Or
invisibility.
Maybe the command word is just onward.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
The Latin word for assassin is Sicarius.
so
that's wild that you know that offhand. And also,
if nobody wants the armor right this minute, put it in the sack.
Put it in the sack.
who has the sack, by the way?
Trefco's carrying the sack.
It's
Okay.
not Laryl's sack. He's just talking about a large sack.
Large
Oh,
sack.
I see.
Large sack.
Okay, well, before we do that, real quick, reminder: Phantom Armor, Marionette, Forget, Levitate are my 4 spells, but I also have the Deer Hide Boots, so I don't need Levitate as memorized. So, do we feel that Forget, Marionette, or Phantom Armor in a combat scenario are more valuable than me just default having the armor and then taking it off if I need to cast something outside of combat?
You have can you read scrolls if you have armor on?
Actually, I don't know off the top of my head. Can you cast from scrolls with armor on? Probably not. It would then not make sense if you can't.
Well,
I'm assuming no, so I'm not going to worry about it. Let's just move on. Yeah. There's only so much time in the night. Yeah.
I'm going to put the armor away.
Okay,
You could
and
do
you got whoever took the ring and the cloak?
We're going to take the ring.
The cloak?
Becky,
Um,
put something on, man.
Breggy, take a cloak.
Okay. I put on the cloak. John, do I explode?
No. However, when you do put on the cloak, Briggy, it feels very natural on your shoulders. Like it was meant to fit you. And everyone who looks at you is like, yes, that works for Breggy. Like it's it gives you a particular idiom. The who took the spear?
I'm trying to decide what to do with the spear.
Wolford can hold this spear. He'll evaluate it versus the black iron to see which one feels better.
Okay.
Well, that's not going to happen. But if you want the spear, you can have the spear.
I'm getting
hold on the spear.
I'm getting annoying. Back to the armor. Sorry. If I vocalize the command word, which means unseen death, what occurs? If I'm not wearing it, anything?
If you're not wearing, you just say the words, nothing happens.
You want me to test it out?
Yeah, I'll put it on for one turn. I'm going to put it on. I'm going to say the word, see what happens.
Okay.
It's a ring, right? Yeah.
You say the words unlooked for death with the ring on. The white pearl glows brightly for a second. And you all can feel, everyone in the room can feel that there is another presence in the room, but you can't see it. But you can definitely feel it. And a cold shiver of dread runs up and down your spines.
Dude, send it after Neferet.
Tell us to go kill Neferet.
Sure. I don't know the spell we're referencing, but yes, I will say go kill Neferet and see if something happens. I don't know.
You feel a cold brush of air as something unseen passes right by your face. And it has, where are you? You're in Deino's chamber.
He can see it though, John, because he's wearing the circlet.
I can't.
Can the circlet see invisibility?
True seeing.
Understand.
And Mort can see illusions or things. So,
Are you wearing the death mask, Mort?
yeah.
Well, this might be a good homing device situation.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so when so if you're wearing the circlet, Upior, when you say the words, retconning, going back,
Sure.
a humanoid creature that is sort of slowly floating just a couple of inches off the ground forms directly in front of you. It is faceless and like basically bodiless. It's like it has no actual like real form really, but it's vague. I don't know how to describe it. It's quite obviously an invisible stalker. So it appears in front of you, and then when you say go
blurry, just an appropriate theme here. Sorry, go ahead.
And so when you say go find and kill Neferet, that's what you said.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. It immediately, like with superhuman speed, bolts off through the. Let's see. The
Shortest possible destination. Does it go through secret doors? Does that account for it? I don't know. I'm curious. Anyway, yeah.
One moment.
No worries.
So, Upior's got the ring.
Yes.
Upior, yeah.
Why did I think that was a set of armor? I'm sorry for the viewers and everyone
It was
else.
the ring that, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, so it bolts through the western door in the room.
Okay. Well, I'm going to
west.
at equal speed, being like, this way. I'm just gonna fucking bolt after him. I don't want to lose sight of this thing.
Wait,
and like I know it's chaotic, and I'm sorry, guys, but I'm basically gonna be like, Neferet, this way. I may die, whatever, right? Like,
yeah.
Go. Give me some space, but keep me in sight. Is what I'm basically indicating.
Yeah.
I also have the invisibility ring on. Does anyone want to fucking be dragged by their fucking collar while I'm invisible chasing this thing? Now's the time.
Hell no.
Doesn't matter to you, but like now's the time, right? Like the ring of friendship. Sorry.
But I just want to clarify, John. It went west.
Mm-hmm.
Well, west.
She's on the move. Okay.
She went back to her little hidey hole.
Oh, therein lies. I not what I expected, but here we are.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
right.
sprinting.
Let's
Does
follow.
anyone want to go blind and make me invisible while I'm sprinting like 30 paces ahead of you? No.
Hell no.
All right. Well,
No.
I will die, but I love you for it.
Well, we're all going with you. I'll run in front of you.
I
We're
know.
going with
But
you.
I'm trying to give you like a step up if you want a surprise round when I'm like corpses on the ground. You know, that's what I'm getting.
So, with the ring and all that kind of stuff that you're doing, Upior, did you decide not to do the clairvoyance?
I thought there was a staggered timeline there. I thought I was doing clairvoyance while they were investigating, and then I put on the ring.
Okay, so going back even further to the clairvoyance.
Sorry, John.
Sorry, John, making it really hard on you.
You are looking at the cloisters. You see the room. It does not appear to have been messed with in any way, shape, or form. The mosaic is still in the center of the floor. Do you do anything?
Okay.
Yeah.
And
No,
so he would,
I depart from that.
yeah, and his true seeing would go through that. So if there was somebody invisible in that room, he would see that. Correct.
Likewise, if there was a secret door that I had not seen prior, I would see it as well. Yes. So if there's anything we didn't see,
it does detect the secret door in the large chair to the east. But that's
the one we already know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. I come out of there. I'm
Right,
like,
great.
oh, by the way, let's run.
Okay.
Okay. So running in order to keep up. What is your speed? Whoop, you are.
I'm 120, but I don't know.
I'm 90.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, do we count it as a group? That's why. Do you want to stagger and be a ways behind me, guys, and just following
No,
through?
I think we should all go together, David. I mean, it's okay. We're gonna.
Of course.
Is anyone else at 120?
Wolford and Elizabeth are both at 120.
One more question, just for bookkeeping, because we did off-camera discussions of what we might allocate in terms of inventory. I currently have all 4 beads of force on me. Would you guys like to say that prior to camera start, I have distributed 1 to each of you, or would you like me to have all 4? Because that was a suggestion that was made, but we never confirmed that. I just want to say that because
pulling him up's a great idea.
okay, so
Well,
all of you have
yeah.
1. I have 1. I need to know that I have 1, which is why I'm asking. Okay,
Yes.
cool. All right,
Okay.
we're going.
So Wolford, Elizabeth, and Upior can maintain pace. Everyone else has to drop behind.
Fresco can probably maintain pace, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, he can. He carries nothing, and he's fast.
bolting into the western door, through the western door, you enter into a chamber that is exactly 20 feet by 20 feet. And this one appears to be, I believe, I'm going to get there real quick, is the actual chamber that appears to have been Count Scleros's personal chamber. So it's strangely enough, it does not appear to be any more luxurious than the ones that were next to him. There's a fine set of furs for sleeping. There's an unused desk. There's a stone water barrel in a corner. And there is a pair of Thothian tapestries which have been hung, which show depictions of idyllic bird scenes.
Hey, Ted, you're going east, not west. Sorry.
Yeah.
No.
So
Went west, so western door, not eastern door on that.
he did it right. He did it right.
I did right.
The western door, man.
Yeah, you got it. So there doesn't appear to be anything else in the room. Do you stop to investigate?
No.
If he doesn't see anything on the with the circlet, then let's just keep going.
Okay. And just to be sure, you are ignoring the secret door in Mother's room. Is that correct?
For now.
Mother's probably in there, honestly, but yes.
Okay.
I don't know.
Continuing on,
Yeah.
you keep running through. You burst into the so this door is also open as well, as you know, and you run in and you are immediately met by a huge fucking horde of undead, which are barring your passageway as the invisible stalker nimbly moves around them and continues off to the west. However, you are faced with a whole bunch of them. So there appears to be you surmised correctly. There was 3 ghouls who are crawling along the ground quickly and rapidly. They are all scrabbling at that northern door, quickly turn around when they see you. And there is also 3 zombies who are sort of standing dully in the center of the room. All are former beastmen. Some of them you can see are actually women and not armed, but looking very much as undead and horrible as everybody else. All are suffering from the suppurating, glistening mummy rot.
John,
Mm-hmm.
do I have time to use a scroll before we enter combat or no?
What are you trying to do?
Monster summoning 4.
Okay. I do think.
We kind of just ran into that room, man.
Yeah.
No,
you
which is why
you could
it's fair
certainly
to say
cast
I
from it. I
can't.
just don't think you can do it in advance.
Very fair. Very fair.
So.
I asked. I didn't say it was going to be the right move.
So you are casting a spell as a declaration. Is anyone else casting a spell? No?
Nope.
Okay. Roll for initiative, please. I got a
Who's
1.
got it?
I think
Mike, it's you.
David's got to do it.
I think this is David's problem, man.
All right.
David
all right.
ran. David's got to do it.
One moment. Okay, you ready? Where the hell did my? Hold on.
It's a
There.
6-sided, David.
No, I know. I
It's the one that looks like a
Oh, no,
square.
it's
I got a 5.
A 5. Okay. You guys win.
Okay.
Cast a spell.
Okay.
Okay.
So we declare.
You're going to wait for. You're all waiting for the awesomeness of this spell. Is that right?
Up to you guys.
I'm good at attack.
I'm saying, are we waiting for the spell to go off before you do anything else?
Then we'll let the spell go first, and then we'll attack.
Okay.
Sure.
All
I
right.
mean, yes.
Okay. Let's see. Roll a d4, please, David.
The 3.
Well. Okay. All right. So you are going to summon. Actually, roll a d10.
I hope it's a dinosaur.
Maybe a puppy. How about a puppy would be fun?
He'll just murder it.
Oh, no.
Ready? You ready? Here it comes. That's a 9. Ooh. Ooh. I hope that's good.
Okay. So morphing into existence out of thin air are 3 gigantic, thick-bodied snakes that suddenly appear.
Hell yeah.
Right on.
I found the Ozark spell finally on my PDF. So I'm here with us.
Okay.
Asps. Very dangerous.
They immediately turn their gaze upon their constrictor snakes. They turn their gaze upon the enemies.
All right. So that's David. He cast a spell. These guys
My goal
are
is
all
to buy
ahead
us
of
time. And sorry, go ahead.
These guys are all ahead of Mort because they moved faster, right? But it wasn't that far. So is Mort able to fight this round? They only went 30 feet.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
They didn't. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll say this. You don't agree with me. I'm not trying to micromanage. The reason I cast this is so that we could just keep running, not so that we would engage, because I want to make sure we don't lose sight of the invisible assassin. That being said, that doesn't mean it'll work. But if all of us engage in combat and you have to disengage afterwards, I'm running. Just for what's worth, I'm going to keep running.
Can you make the snakes attack the ghouls? Because we can take the zombies,
that's
no problem.
I'm just trying to make the snakes take all the action economy as much as I can. I'm going to make them attack.
I get it. So you want to just bounce and weave past the snakes and all the monsters and keep going.
That's why I did it.
Yeah, yes. I get it.
Okay, so David, so Upior, with the snakes appearing, you can command them. So do you want to tell them to sort of position themselves in a way that allows the rest of you guys to keep moving?
Basically, create a defensive line. I basically want them to
wall of snake.
Wall of snake, literally. Yes,
okay.
Exactly, Matt. Like I want them to do everything that they can to just
okay,
populate,
I buy that.
Interrupt.
I buy that. I'm going to. There are three and they're big, but the undead were not kind of clustered. The ghouls were at the northern end of the room. The zombies were sort of in the middle, which is sort of where the snakes sort of appear. So what I am going to say is that I understand your purpose. You want to kind of herd them all away from you so that you can kind of slip away around the southern end of the room. But I am going to say that there is a chance that a couple of them do sort of slip around the snakes. Okay. So with the assumption that the rest of you guys are not engaging, but attempting to move away defensively, not like you're not going to leave yourselves open. But so I'm going to say that there is I'll make it a low chance, just a 1 in 6 chance that a couple of undead make their way through. So here we go.
Okay.
And I did not roll it. So your plan worked. The snakes hiss and lunge towards the undead, who immediately gravitate towards them. Basically, what's the word? Aggroes them. And you guys slip around to the south. Well done.
Okay.
Good use of that scroll.
Yeah,
Nice job, David.
that was good.
Okay.
It's a high level spell burn, but I think it's worth it.
With minimal hesitation, you were able to continue your chase. However, there was enough time that that the stalker did gain significant distance from you guys. Okay. So as you burst through the western door, you can see that it leads to a corridor that goes for 20 feet before it turns a corner to the north. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Does it turn in the second square or in the third square?
It turns. Where are you, Ted? So it goes literally for 20. It turns at the 30-foot square. Sorry, Ted. No,
okay.
I see what you're doing. Yeah, sorry. Let's see. One sec. There's a thing here that I think the circle is going to pick up on, but give me a moment.
Or the mask.
Where is this guy?
Remind us, Ted, what is the mask sees what? I mean, I know you have true sight once a day or something, but
it sees through all illusions, which of course the circlet will as well, and detects lies. It's really more of something to use, in personal interactions with somebody.
Okay, sorry about that. We're basically at the end of the episode, but I just had to parse that what's going on real quick. So, what you do see on the western wall when you go down that corridor is that the entire western wall, there is a hanging tapestry. It's obviously not of Beastman make. It looks like it was stolen or claimed at some point. Most of it is geometrically. It's geometrical patterns, right? However, in the center of all those geometrical patterns, there is very clearly a depiction of a waz stick, right? That is the which is actually like a
kind of a hook scepter thing.
Yes, correct. Yeah, but you know it as a representative of it is a what do you call it? A rod of authority. Of the priest of Set.
Oh, a set.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I do have a set I pinned it on, by the way, guys. But
But it's the iron circlet does reveal that the curtain, that the tapestry is actually concealing not a secret door, but an entrance on the directly on the western wall there in front of you. Okay,
Which I will burst through post haste.
Okay, so you rip aside the tapestry, and you can see that you are in a confined room with no visible exits. However, there are arrow slits, 2 on every side of the room, except the eastern one, which you're entering into. The room is 20 foot by 20 foot. You are entering in on the the southeastern side of the eastern wall. This room is so there was flickering light. So there's flickering light in there. It is completely scorched. It looks like something went down here. There's blood and scorch, and there are charred bodies all, not all over the place, but there are charred bodies in here. 1, 2, 4 bodies. All of those bodies are wearing the charred remnants of robes, but they are all beastmen.
John, just FYI, hand on one of the beads of force immediately at the ready. If I see her, I'm throwing it as fast and as hard as I can. As
you don't see her.
Okay.
But there are a lot of dead bodies here, and it looks like a magical battle was fought here, and it really kind of stinks of burnt dog.
But I don't see
the post-Gozer battle in Ghostbusters.
But I don't see the invisible stalker in here, correct?
You do not see the invisible stalker in here.
At which point I literally turn heel, burst back out of this tapestry, and not this way. Next time, and I
okay.
run
So
away.
we're going to end it here, just with the dimensions of what you see. You do also see pinging with the iron circlet when you are in the room with the dead spellcasters, that there is a secret door on the southern wall. A southern wall on the eastern side.
Oh, where? Okay, that's interesting. I put an extra arrow slit there, but I shouldn't have done
Leading
that.
into the harem, right?
Yep.
Right. I don't think she would have gone that way, though, David. I don't think so.
Going north is still the way to pursue.
Yeah, the stalker went
No
north.
sign of the stalker to the north when I turn that corner, though, John?
No, unfortunately, it looks like the time that you took to kind of burst into this room, the stalker has sort of been left in the dust.
Well, not to be pedantic, but before I burst into the room, I would have looked at the intersection. I would have glanced in the directions that are available to me. So what I
understood. Yeah, but the distances are short before it turns another corner. So regardless, so this corridor that goes to the north, Ted, goes 20 feet. I don't know how to describe this without making you confused. Basically, it turns a corner. It goes for 10 feet before it turns a corner to the west.
It goes around the room. The mage's
It goes
room.
around the room. That's right, Ted. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And we can see about that far.
And then when you turn around the corner, right there, Ted, where you ended, it actually starts to go north again.
Like so?
Yeah, but then right there, it actually it's a little confusing, but it's deliberately for defensive purposes for the beastmen. It heads directly west right there. So you need to erase that line on the west there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Like so.
No. It does. I'm betting it does a zigzag, Ted. So it's going to go like that, and then it's going to go immediately west again. So you're going to see a wall, right, John, at the end of that hallway?
Yes,
I see what
correct.
you're saying.
Yeah.
Like it goes like this.
Yes. I'm betting.
Yes,
I got it.
correct.
I got it.
And then right where you ended that line, Ted, it heads south again.
Okay.
Okay.
I got you.
And it goes as you're kind of racing around as quickly as you can. I assume Upi was sort of taking the lead and frantically looking for any side of the invisible stalker. You can see that this one continues on. The western wall continues on for another 20 feet. And then there's
it turned west right there.
No, it goes south for another 20 feet.
Uh-huh.
And then it just then there's a passageway that leads to the west there. And then we'll leave it right there.
Okay.
Is this blocked off right
here?
here?
Around that thing, Ted, are going to take fire from the wizards and those
Yeah.
It is blocked off there, Ted. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. Okay.
That little joint, that little bit to the west there that you drew is not there though.
Okay.
It just kind of opens up into a large chamber. Okay. But we'll save that chamber for next time because we are at time. So yeah. All right, lots of exploration done. You guys definitely hit the feat of exploration for exploring a number of dungeon rooms, perhaps a couple of times. I'll have to do the counting. Through that frantic run around and exploration for survivors and trying to follow your invisible stalker, you have mapped a great deal more of the level of the debuge level.
Did that ring crumble into dust when he said the magic word?
It did not, no. Although the white pearl does dull a little bit after it happened.
I wonder how often you can do that, dude.
I might have to use it a second time while we got the jump on it, but yeah.
All right, so that'll do it for this episode 85. Thank you, everyone, for watching and or listening to 3D6 Down the Line. This is the most criminally underwatched actual play series on the internet. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have the wherewithal, please join the Patreon for a few extra bennies and access to some of our secret Discord channels on our public Discord server, which is well worth joining just for the very cool people who are on it at all hours of the day. Mostly us is what I'm talking about. No, I'm just kidding. There's a lot of cool people on there at all times. So
I think we're the least cool on there.
Yeah, we really are. Yeah, people way smarter than us on that thing. And some of those great people are explorers, delvers, and conqueror patrons, which we give great thanks to for all of their support, especially the conquerors. Ted, why don't you take it away with who those fine folk are?
I would love to do that, John. And our conquerors, thank you very much. I will now hereby recognize Saps, Papa Bear, Zach Shiflett, Familia Morando, Mercury 605, Ruben D. Collar, Dave Rosser Jr., Andrew, Dakota Nielsen, Cam, Stephen Quisenberry, Brad and Aiden, the Logan family, Kabrowskis, Chad Cartier, Magic Meat Machine, Tom Leary, Phil, G Tokyo Time, Terry Barney, Eric Lawson, Mando MNZ, Faisal, James Doig, Nefarious Gamer, Grunt, Andrew Schroker, MM, Michael Schilling, Stefano Di Maiolo, Ash Gabrielle, the Hexbrawler Twins, Summon Toast, Adam the DM, Scott Yearsley, Mech Jack, Kick Maniac, Dyer Grew, Tom Eric Garrettson, not Matt but not least, Matt Mason, Matt Gardner, Matt Koenig, and Matt Young. Thank you, everybody. I love how that list is getting longer. It's really gratifying that you guys like what we're doing.
Indeed, it does. So thank you again for all of your support, everyone. Everyone have a great week, and we will see you next time. Bye now. Take care.
See you. Thank you, John.
John.